All right, all right, all right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another week of my weekly stock picks. This is for the week of March 29th. My name is Brock. You can follow me on Twitter at Don'tFeedBear or give me a subscribe on YouTube. So let's go ahead and take a look at the past week. I believe last week I said I was expecting to go down a bit, and it kind of did, but we had a nice little rebound on Thursday, Friday. When I first looked at this, I originally saw that we kind of had a bit of a scary, shoulder, head, and then I was expecting another shoulder here and then finally it just broke down and we hit one of these boxes. But maybe the Bulls are coming through. It's starting to look like a little bit of fight. If we check the indicators, we're above the 200 moving average. The Ichimoku cloud's looking like it's going to stay coiling pretty tight before it decides which way the market's going to go. Right now, we're pushing for a bullish crossover now on the MACD. We're heading higher on the squeeze indicator. So we have a couple good-looking things, but it's not too conclusive yet. It could get rejected next week. But like I said, I think we enter the week and just take a look and see. For a while there, we were hitting kind of lower lows each time, and now if you look here, we're getting higher lows. So I don't think we're out of it yet, and I'm not quite sure. It's a little confused right now. It's tough to kind of read, but it doesn't seem like we're out of it quite yet. But I am seeing some positive signs that are opening up some trading opportunities. So just keep an eye on it, and just know that this could continue for a while. We could head up for a little bit and then finally break down. We could go all the way to I'm looking at. There's even a scenario where we go to like 407, and then it breaks down. So we're still not out of the woodwork yet. Let's be careful. Don't over risk. Don't throw your whole account into one trade. We're not at that point yet. We're not out of the woods yet. So that's my kind of breakdown of SPY. I would say next week. I think we get another sideways. Maybe a couple points up or down, but nothing major next week. So. That's keep an eye on that. So that's my review of S&P 500 for now. I know it's not probably what you wanted here, but it's just really tough to tell right now. So, all right, let's jump into it. To winners and losers. So, as I mentioned on my Twitter account, that Dave & Buster's or Play went ahead and hit its price target number 3, and so that trade is done. I've exited, made some good money there. Target. Nice little runner. This was a stock pick of this past week, and it ran 7% since I introduced it. It just barely scratched above the buy zone, and then the people wouldn't let it go down any lower, and just more people kept buying. So nice little run for Target this week. FCell, like I said, I was getting beat up pretty bad. Has not hit its stop loss yet. I still am a believer in FCell because they provide something for the future. I think FCell long term is going to be a huge winner. I think they provide, with Biden in office, there's going to be a big push on green technology, and FCell providing, battery storage opportunity and all sorts of battery backup options that they have. It's going to be a huge stock, I think, in the future. So, all right, let's go ahead and jump into the stock picks. Stock picks for this week are GM, Procter & Gamble, Honeywell, and Caterpillar. So, as you know, as always, I always put down the type of setup, their buy zones, their cut loss, the price targets. I also show you the charts that I'm looking at so that you can take a see and check it out for yourself. See if you agree with me. If you don't, leave a comment. Let's discuss it. So let's go ahead and jump into and check out the charts. So let's start with GM. GM is probably my favorite setup this week. It's following very closely. This dips a little. This retrace here is a little odd, but it kept following up. Now it hit the 3, and then we're going down to the 4. If it hits in this box, I will buy, and hopefully that we, for looking to get a jump to the wave 5, way above, the 200 moving average. That's a good sign. We're above the Ichimoku cloud. The yellow crossed recently, so that's a good sign. Now if this crosses over. Not a great sign, but not the end of the world. Very low RSI, so we might just barely get into this box. Depends on what happens early next week. We're gonna dip. It looks like we're gonna dip a little bit more, and then we'll come out of it. Maybe the week after, and see some a nice run for GM. All right, let's look at the next one. After GM, it's Procter & Gamble. If GM is my favorite setup of the week, Procter & Gamble is my second favorite. because it's very similar setup. So if you look here, oops, let me pull it down. So if you look here, it's at the very top of wave 1. Now the issue here, the reason why it's my second favorite is because wave 1 could not be complete here. It could keep running next week, all the way up to here, and then dip down for the wave 2. That's what this is very hard to tell. So if you go here, as you can see, that'd be a great spot to pick up for a wave 2. But we kind of it could just keep running and then dips. We're not sure where wave 1's going to stop. It kind of looks like a spot, but it could just keep going. So a little bit of risky here to take it. But if you look, the trend is very strong. RSI is way overbought, so I think it's going to come down a bit. So I think we see the dip coming soon. And then you also have a very, very positive sign futures that the green is now switching for the cloud. So these are all really positive signs for P&G. So I like both GM and Procter & Gamble. Probably those are my two favorite setups this week. All right, let's look at Honeywell. So Honeywell has a very good setup too. It has on trendline support. So if you look here, the indicators are showing that it's way above the 200 moving average. That's a bit important because that means it's still on an uptrend. It's kind of the middle. The green, bounced above, so it's showing like, hey, it has some strength. It showed a bit of a bullish crossover here. Look at all these red dots here. We're getting kind of a squeeze indicator showing. So, and Honeywell's just been like a really good stock. I had this stock about halfway through last year, and since then it's just been on tear. It's done really well. So, like I said, I think what happens is early next week we get a nice little drop, maybe a little up, and then by the end of the week I think we get close to the trendline support, and then we need this support to hold and bounce off of it for some nice gains. So I'll be looking for probably right around here. That's what I'm looking for. So I wanted to bounce off that trendline support. So like I said, these setups might take this whole week, but once they get set up, they're very high, very good risk to reward ratio. So keep that in mind. Next up is Caterpillar. So Caterpillar is a construction company. They build all those machines and do all the construction. So like I said, this is already kind of bounced off and heading up on wave 5. I think we could see a bit of a little tiny dip, and then we take off. So because I can see here, it's going up a little. It could go down a little bit more. It's starting to trend up. This is going down. The squeeze in here is going down a little bit, but you can see it's grown a bit. And then as you can see, the future looks good. It's the cloud is getting bigger. So I think this one, I really hope we can catch a dip on Monday. Just the first 30 minutes of the market just hits down and bounces off this line here, gets into my buy zone, and then just goes on a tear. That would be fantastic. So, like I said, on wave 5, looks good. Keep an eye on Caterpillar. So, all right. Up next are my honorable mentions. So, let's talk about AMD. So, if you have seen the news lately, if you pay attention to all this stuff on all the different news services, a lot of these car companies are all you're hearing a lot. Stop manufacturing. Jeep, NIO, Tesla all have stopped manufacturing because they're out of chips. Well, guess who makes the chips? AMD, Intel, Nvidia. They're chip makers. TSM, Taiwanese Semiconductor. So they're all kind of showing this double bottom kind of look where it's like hit the low, go back up, hit it back down, and then take off. Because I'm telling you right now, if there's a chip shortage, these companies are all going to do extremely well because they're going to be such low supply but such high demand that they can raise prices because law of supply and demand, very simple. So right now, if you look at indicators, it's not looking great. It's below the 200 moving average, but it's heading back up. So if we can claim above that 200 moving average, I like what I'm seeing here. I'm thinking this is going to cross over soon. I personally believe that the semiconductor industry is going to grow a lot over the next 5 years. And I am putting a lot of money into that in my long-term accounts. I have AMD, I have Intel. I need to look more into Taiwanese Semiconductor because I need to see if they get pushed out or if Apple truly becomes a player in this sector. So we need a little push. We need to get above that 200 moving average, and then we can start to see some positive signs here. But for right now, AMD's in a really interesting place where there's a possibility this could go on a really crazy run second half this year. So keep an eye on AMD. I'm telling you, it's a good winner for the future. I mentioned Apple. So if we take a look at Apple, I mentioned that this is a really interesting zone here. I don't know if we make it here anymore. It's been holding really well. Like if you look here, it just doesn't want to really break past this, past the 200 day. So if you look here, we're going to start to get some squeeze indicator dots. I'd like to see the cloud go above. I'd like to see this slice through the cloud, but for now, Apple's at some pretty interesting prices. So you'd have to have a lot of faith in Apple if you want to get in here. But like I said, starting to see some movement out of some of these, tech stocks that I really like, and I think we're going to start seeing a rotation back into tech very soon. So keep an eye on these big tech names. I think I'm starting to see signs that is telling me to hey, start putting money in tech. So could dip a little bit more, but I like how Apple's holding this kind of line here. Looks good. All right, let's look at Beyond Meat. So Beyond Meat had a crazy run in 2020. Again, with the meat shortage, there are logistical issues, supply chain issues for real meat, red meat distributors, and they took advantage. I mean, look at this. I think this is where the Pepsi deal came in, but ever since then, it's come very far down. It's to the point where it's at some really critical levels here, where I like. I'm not really seeing too many technical setups here. I would like to see a little bit more strength before I get in, but like I said, the squeeze indicator is kind of showing it's getting ready to head to the upside. This cloud getting bigger is not a great thing, but like I said, at these levels, these are great entry prices for Beyond Meat. I mean, Beyond Meat is the future kind of meat, because if it seems like we're headed to a place where artificial meat will be a mainstay part of people's diet. So this could be a big runner. I don't know. Just the indicators aren't telling me too much for a technical setup, but it just looks like it's ready to take off again. I mean, if you look in the past, it always does that. It takes off, huddle, down, and then boom, it just takes off. So these are really interesting levels for me, and I might be interested come next week. So just want to give you guys a heads up. Keep an eye on Beyond Meat. All right, last one is Taiwanese Semiconductor. Are you guys seeing a trend? Apple is thinking about getting into the semiconductor sector. So, like I said, the reason I'm interested in TSM is because it was on this downward trend, and then it broke past it on Friday. Now, what happens next week is, do we keep going, or does it break back down and retest? So, like I said, it's not a stock pick because I don't think it's ready yet. I mean, look at the cloud; it's not there. RSI is a little low, but not crazy. It is kind of pushing up, but I need to see a little more strength. It's above the 200 moving average, but like I said, the fact that it broke past this resistance support, trend line resistance, is that that's a good sign. So hopefully we can keep it there and keep it moving up, and see really positive things from not just TSM but the whole semiconductor sector. So, all right, guys, that is my honorable mention picks. I already gave you my 4 stock picks of the week. I hope you guys have a great week next week. Keep an eye out. We're still in an odd kind of territory in the market. The environment's not really telling me which way to go. There's still a possibility out there for another big drop. But so far, it looks like we're going to have a sideways week next week. So just be careful. Don't over-risk. This is really, make sure this is time where all of your trades are long-term, or that you have a very tight cut loss on them, because don't keep hoping for the best and lose a bunch of money. That'd be the worst thing. So, all right, everybody, hope you have a great week. Hope you have a very green week, make lots of money, and I will see you guys next week at opening bell. All right, take it easy, everyone. Okay, bye.